Create these easy fall decor ideas with just a few simple items from the dollar store. Bring a pop of fall into a bathroom or powder room. Unfold 2 napkins and lay them print side down and slightly overlapping. Place a toilet paper roll in the center. Bring the left side of the napkin over the roll and tuck it under. Bring the bottom edges up and into the center of the roll. Continue rolling and finish by tucking in the top edges. Do this with a few rolls for a pretty stack. Start by removing the rubber feet and set them aside for later. Wipe down the smooth side of the board to remove any glue or other residue. Brush a thin layer of dishwasher-safe Mod Podge and let it dry completely. Repeat with another layer, letting it dry completely. Place the napkin print side down over the cutting board, smoothing it out. Cover with a piece of parchment paper using an iron set to medium heat and no steam. Go over the paper to melt the Mod Podge and fuse the board to the napkin. Use an emery board or sandpaper to gently sand off the excess napkin. Apply another layer of Mod Podge and let set. Reattach the rubber feet. Your cutting board is ready to use. Dress up a simple dollar store frame with a pretty printed napkin. Cut the napkins into strips wider and longer than the frame and mat. Apply a thin coat of Mod Podge to both, then carefully lay the strips of napkin over the frame and mat, aligning the straight edges of the napkin to the inner edges of both. Let set. Use sharp scissors to trim off the excess napkin and apply a thin coat of Mod Podge to the tops. Let set, then reassemble your frame.
The next time you're at the dollar store, pick up some glass salad plates. And if you search some drawers in your home, I'll bet you can find some paper napkins in a pretty pattern. Start by placing a glass plate upside down on a bowl. This will make your work easier. Using a wide-tip gold paint pen, start to outline the rim of the back of the plate. I started with a thin outline and then decided to make the gold painted border a little thicker, so I went back and outlined the perimeter on the back of the plate again. Take one of the paper napkins and separate the layers. You will be using just the thin printed napkin layer. Pour some decoupage glue, like Mod Podge, into a small bowl and brush the glue over the entire back of the glass plate. Make sure you brush the glue onto the plate edges as well. Take the printed paper napkin and place it onto the back of the plate with the design side down. Carefully smooth the napkin onto the bottom and sides of the plate with your fingers. As you smooth the napkin onto the sides, you can make some intentional folds in the napkin so it molds itself to the curved side of the plate. Let the plate sit for about 5 minutes to dry, and then cut away the excess napkin with some scissors. Once the plate has been trimmed, brush additional glue onto the edges of the plate. Then brush a second layer of glue over the entire back of the plate. Repeat this same process with the rest of your glass plates. Let the plate sit for a couple of hours so the glue can dry completely. Now let's see the plates in action. Start to set your table with a tablecloth in a coordinating color as the first layer. Define each place setting with a woven charger plate for texture. Continue to set your table with plates, flatware, and a centerpiece. Candles are always a nice addition, as are various green plants. Real or faux, it doesn't matter. Don't forget to add goblets so your guests don't go thirsty. Your new decorative plates will be a beautiful addition for your table on any special occasion or for every day. I hope this inspired you to decoupage some inexpensive glass plates with paper napkins to give any place setting an elevated and welcoming look.
This is what I need for my project today. I'm going to decorate my cushion cover, and I've made a plan and I've cut a template out of cardboard. To make my pattern, I'm going to use 2 sheets of rice paper and 2 paper napkins, but we only need the top layer of the napkins. First thing I'm going to do is to coat the whole surface with gloss gel medium. Doesn't have to be gloss, you can use matte if that's what you've got, and you can use any kind of medium. And I'm doing it quite painstakingly because I want to make sure that I've covered all the surface and got into all the weave of the fabric. The cover is completely coated now and I'm going to leave it to dry. Now I'm going to lay out all the pieces that I've cut out. I'm just going to start with a few pieces on the bottom and I'm putting a little dab of the medium on each one just to make sure that they stay in place. Because now I'm taking some parchment paper and I have my iron on the hottest setting and I'm going to iron over the pieces. And this will firmly stick them in place. All my pieces are firmly stuck down now and I'm going to give the whole thing another coat of the gloss gel medium and leave it to dry. And here's my finished pillow. Doesn't it look great? I had so much fun making this.
I picked up this vase and bowl at my local thrift store. First thing I want to do is clean it up really good and then add a light coat of spray paint to the outside. I'm choosing an off-white because that's going to match with what I'm doing in the next step. I'm going to spray these down just one coat and let them dry. Then I grabbed some napkins with a nice pattern on them. I'm going to open up a single napkin, and most napkins are 2-ply, some are 3. This one's only 2, and I'm just going to gently pull apart the layers. I want to save the patterned layer, and I can discard that white bottom part. I want to take this pretty pattern from the napkin and apply it to those 2 glass vases. So I'm going to need a little bit of Mod Podge and a paintbrush to do that. So because these are curved surfaces, I can't just put the napkin right on top. I want to cut it down into smaller pieces so I can lay it over the curved surface without getting too many wrinkles or folds. I'm going to start by applying a generous layer of Mod Podge to a section of the larger vase. Then I'm going to place the napkin on top and just gently press it down with my fingers. This can be kind of a messy job, but using your fingers is really the best way to do this. I want to smooth it out. There are going to be a few wrinkles, but not too many. I just want to smooth everything down so it sticks. With the main part covered, I can go ahead and cover the bottom and the edges with smaller pieces. A good tip is to cut slits into the side of the napkins. It's going to help them fold down and overlap a little bit nicer. I'm using the same process to cover the smaller vase with the napkins as well. Once both of these pieces are completely covered, I want to set them aside to dry so all that Mod Podge dries. Once they're completely dry, I want to add a final coat of Mod Podge over the top. This is going to help seal everything in and create a really solid, durable surface. I want to turn these 2 vases into a lamp. So I am going to use some really strong glue. I grabbed some super glue here to attach the smaller one to the bottom of the larger one. There are a couple options for turning this into a lamp. There are traditional puck lights that you just press to turn on and off, or you can get these little lights that are remote controlled. I hope this inspired you to pick up some thrift store vases or use some that you already have and turn them into a decoupaged lamp. Thanks for watching Home Talk. We'll see you next time.